Belchertown custom motorcycle builder Rich Pitoniak was recently featured in Cycle Source magazine with a 5-page spread after his custom bike Painkiller caught the eye of the magazine's editor at a motorcycle rally in Laconia, New Hampshire this past summer. BelchertownNews.com spoke to Pitoniak, owner of Pitoniak Custom Cycles in Belchertown, about his Painkiller, his other bikes, and other projects that he's working on in his shop on Federal Street.
Well, this bike is a 1967 Harley-Davidson shovelhead motor that I've had for this motor for close to 16 years now. Got it in my 20s. It was in I bought this motor. It was blown up out of a wrecked bike, and actually, this connecting rod and piston that I've had all these years came out of this motor. So I bought it, the motor was blown up and the cases were wrecked, and being that I was a machinist working in a machine shop, somebody used to do all of our aircraft welding, Mark's Welding. He welded up all the cases for me, then I just did all the remachining and everything on the cases. And I wanted to save the cases because I had a title on a 1967 set of cases. So I did all the machining on it and built the motor, and still got the motor all these years later. So I always kind of hung on to this connecting rod, you know. So, but that's the motor I've had for a lot of years. And the frame, it's a 1948 frame. Like I was saying, I got it from a local guy, Stan. And but it's an old vintage Harley-Davidson frame, and the transmission's an old late 60s Harley-Davidson 4-speed transmission. So this bike is really a Harley-Davidson bike. I mean, a Harley motor, Harley frame, Harley transmission. So it's not a kit bike out of a magazine. You open up and buy a bunch of parts. It's an old, you know, all vintage old Harley stuff. And some of the brass stuff I had made myself here, and the copper oil lines, I like, being that I was a machinist for a lot of years, I kind of like to use different metals, you know, like polished aluminums and chrome and brass and like the copper lines, you know, just different types of metals, you know. Like these triple trees, I made these. These are I machined and made them. All out of, you know, 60, 61 T6 aluminum. So my design and my trees, I did a program and made them on a CNC machine. So they're my trees. And I like little tanks. I like small tanks on choppers because I like to see the motor. That's a big thing on a chopper to me. On a chopper style bike, you should see the motor. The biggest focal point on a chopper is the engine, small tank, frame, clean, simple, not a lot to it. You know, less is more. So
What about the seat?
the seat, this is just a metal seat pan, and then I had also another local artist from Chicopee. He did all the leather work on the seat, and so it's all hand tooled leather. And then on top of the seat there's a tiki, all hand tooled into the seat, and then that's my tiki tattoo. So it's kind of my good luck.
Let me get the tattoo again.
So it's kind of my tattoo on the seat is sort of my good luck charm, you know. So I haven't got an accident on it yet, so hopefully it's working, you know. So
Now, is this the first incarnation of the bike, or have you rebuilt it over the years?
no, well, I've had this motor. Yeah, I had this motor 16 years ago when I first bought it, blown up in another rigid frame, and I had it like that for about 10 years, and I got into a bad accident on it, and the other frame got wrecked, but I got the same motor. So you know, the front end, the forks got all bent in, the frame was cracked, and the neck got bent on it. So like I said, after I had started the shop, I wanted to kind of build something a little bit more showy, but I ride it. I ride this bike, you know, a lot, and so you know, that's
Cool.
That's Painkiller.
Although Pitoniak rides Painkiller, he also rides this bike, which he built for longer trips.
This bike here is a 1979 Harley, and it was an FX Super Glide that I bought for $2,000, and had a blown up motor on it, and it didn't look anything like this. And I got it, like I said, with a blown motor, and I had ripped it, parted it all out, what I didn't want off it, the old front end, the wheels. And I got a new front end for it and all new sheet metal, and I rebuilt the whole motor, and then I modernized the bike with a, because originally this old bike would have an old 4-speed in it. So this was, being this my bike with suspension, I wanted something more comfortable ride for long trips and stuff. So I redid it all. I put a 6-speed overdrive transmission in, rebuilt the whole motor, modern suspension, progressive suspension shocks, updated. Same thing with a brand new front end that I actually put all progressive suspension internals in the front end. Performance machine, 6-piston brake caliper in the front, PM 4-piston in the back. So I mean the braking is excellent, suspension's excellent. It's a real nice bike to ride. Modern shifting transmission. It's still an old bike. It's an old 1979. So basically, it was an old Super Glide, but I turned it more of an FL style bike. Hence the bigger front end, 16-inch wheel, and that's how I kind of transformed this bike. But it was a frame-up build. I had the frame all powder coated and rebuilt it all. And this is this bike here. So it took me about a year and a half to build this bike. Pick away at it in between, running the business and everything else, working on customer bikes.
When was that finally completed?
Oh, I finished this a couple years ago, two years ago.
While at Laconia Bike Week, he participated in a biker build-off where he built this bike, which he has rebuilt since.
This another chopper here that I had built just this year. Actually, I got chosen to be in the biker build-off up at Laconia Bike Week in New Hampshire, and this is the bike that I built. Well, it didn't look like this. I've taken it apart and redid it all since then, but this is a bike that I built, and this is I built the shovel head motor, another motor that I had got. So basically, this here is basically a lot of parts and pieces that I've been collecting over time. The motor was from a customer of mine who had I had the motor all in pieces, and he bought a brand new motor from me, so I got the old motor and then I rebuilt it. The transmission, I got it from another customer of mine, Rick. He had bought a new 5-speed that I put in his bike, so I bought his old 4-speed off him. The frame, actually I got this frame from Stan Langford also, where I got the frame from Painkiller for too. A couple, so here I am a few years later. Hey frame, you got any more frames hanging around, And I got this frame from him, and actually I just traded some work for his bike, and we traded, and he gave me the frame, and I did some work to his newer bike for him. And then the front end I got from an older guy down Cape Cod, a guy named Leon. He had this front end on a bike that he had, he blown the motor apart. And the oil tank that I had here in the shop for years. The seat, again, another custom made seat by the same guy that did the seat on Painkiller and the crocodile seat on my FL bike. He did the seat for this one also. His name's Ian from Black Canyon Leather. Does really nice work. My friend Scott, he painted the tank and fender for me, and then the frame I had it powder coated. So this is just another really cool, simple, clean, old school style chopper bike. And it's got some differences than Painkiller, but I like this style of bike. I like bikes, like I said, to be simple and clean. So it's different fender setup, different struts. It's got these, it's more of a twisted rod strut here for the back struts. Different tank, different motor. It's an old shovel head motor, but it's a different style, cone nose style motor. Skinny 21-inch front wheel, drag bars, nice, quick, fun little bike to ride. Handles really well, nice and low to the ground and light. So this is another really cool bike, my own bike. So
Cool. Now you ride this? Are you keeping this bike for yourself?
Yeah, I'm keeping this. I actually just redid this whole bike in September. Like I said, I originally did it at Laconia, and then I ripped it all apart, changed it all around, and then painted it, because in the build-off, everybody's bike had to be raw steel. And so then I took it apart, since then in September, and then redid it all. Yeah, changed some stuff around on it, different, and got it painted and built it like this. So, but this is mine. Yeah, I might keep this. So I would do shows and stuff like that. It's nice to have more of your own bikes to bring to shows.
Right on.
This bike here is another bike I'm building for a customer. Again, this customer came to me because he really liked my bike Painkiller, and he wanted to build a more of a smaller chopper, bobber style bike. And but it's got some old school styling to it, but it's a little bit more modern. It's got a modern Evo motor in it, 6-speed tranny, 3-inch open VDL belt drive, a little bit wider back tire than an old school bike, but still conservative, 180 wide. Again, a little tank on it, so you can see the motor, looks just nice and clean like that. So this is, like I said, this is just a bike that I'm getting close to done with it now, just doing wiring on it, but this is a bike that I've been building from scratch for a while for a customer. And so...
How long does it take you typically to build a bike? If you were to build it from scratch?
Well, I guess it all depends on when you start a bike. I mean, usually when you start a bike for a customer, if they come to you, hopefully you can start a bike in the fall. Try and start a bike in the fall, and then maybe get it, done over the winter time. But usually it doesn't always work out that way because you're doing service work and everything else. So by the time it goes to paint, and then it comes back from paint, hopefully it doesn't run into the busy season of spring and summer with all the service work. So trying to juggle doing service work and building custom bikes. You don't always get to dedicate a lot of time to just one particular project. So I juggle a lot here. Try and build bikes, do service work, build engines, build motors, kind of juggle everything around, So, but if I was just building bikes, and you could build a bike and get it all over and done with, and then out to paint. Sometimes you don't know how long it's going to be at paint either. The painter could out for 4 weeks or 8 weeks or so, however long he's got it. So you gotta keep busy doing service work while you're waiting for the bike to come back from paint. And then when it comes back from paint, it's not always so simple to just jump off other jobs that you've collected while you're waiting for paint to come back. So they take a while. Pretty much try and tell people I'll call you when it's done. So, but try and get things done hopefully as fast as I can. So now this one here, this chopper was built also for a customer locally. This is more of a bigger, crazier chopper with a longer bike with a wider back tire. It's got a 240 wide back tire on it, 10 over front end on it, a little bit more of a stretch. The bike, and this has got kind of a really special motor. It's a 113-inch motor with a supercharger on it. So this is a little more on the crazy side of things. So I try and build bikes for whatever everybody wants. And myself personally, I kind of like old school bikes. But if a customer wants me to come and build something modern and crazy, like more like this here, then I can do that.
Although an accomplished custom bike builder, most of Pitoniak's business is in engine building.
Engine building is something that I really love to do. That's probably what I do more here than anything is engine building. I do a lot of that, whether it be a new twin cam motor and a newer RLF fuel injected twin cam motor. I do a lot of high performance motor building. This is an Evo motor. It's another motor that I had built here. This is my motor that I'm actually gonna be building a bike for this motor next year.